What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Restoration Rundown Podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to you, the restoration business owner. My name is Ben, your host. I am the CEO of Ironclad Restoration Marketing as well, where we help restoration business owners across the United States get more sales by getting your internet marketing right. Now, if you're listening to this, there's a good chance that you own or operate a restoration business, or you just love to learn about marketing and construction and problems we're having. And today, I want to talk a little bit about your Google business profile, formerly known as Google My Business. It's probably going to go over under some new name changes in the future. But for now, they're calling it the GBP, the Google Business Profile. But more so, how you, as a restoration business owner or any kind of home services business, can leverage that Google business profile to get more leads for your business. So, whether you're looking to get water damage restoration leads, mold removal leads, and everything in between, you may be a public adjuster trying to figure out how to leverage that. Google business profile is a great tool that you can use to, not only help increase conversions to your website, but it also can affect your organic traffic to your site if you're paying for SEO or you're doing SEO yourself. It's a great place to get leads. And now more so, people are utilizing its maps capabilities and how you're ranking on the maps to get more property damage leads. So, it goes without saying, if you've listened to any of these before, we talk about this being like a crucial part of your marketing plan is actually having somebody manage or properly managing your Google business page. It is a lot of work. That's the caveat to this. It is a lot of work, but when done properly, it can be a huge source of leads for your business. And if you're into doing it yourself, they're really very inexpensive leads because you're not paying for them. Now, there's companies out there that manage these things properly, and that's fine and well, but you need to make sure that you understand what managing a Google business profile looks like before you go spend money on somebody else doing it for you. So today we're going to walk you through just a few things real briefly. And this is going to lead us into a longer form, maybe over the shoulder, where I set one up to show you how to properly optimize them. But look, if you have a website, which you should, if you don't, again, I don't know what to say to you. But you have a website and, you're really trying to drive traffic to it. The lion's share of internet search is coming from Google, right? So it only makes sense that you should utilize all of Google's free tools to get those leads and get that traffic built up to your site. Google loves that, right? And the Google business profile kind of is a great tool because it does keep things honest. Okay. We had a huge algorithm update, big major changes to Google in December of this last in 2021, all the way through January. And basically what Google did, like they do with all of their algorithm updates, is they're trying to shake out all the guys that are trying to circumvent their best practices. So back in the day, you used to be able to buy domain names like Best Water Damage Restoration in Miami, Florida.com, and you'd actually get a free ride on Google just because of a domain name match. Well, they went away with that because they realized that any kind of little leeway you're going to give somebody, they're going to take full advantage of it. So marketers and guys out there were just buying up these domains. They would throw up some landing page and were selling those leads. And Google doesn't want that. What Google wants is that you are providing the most relevant results and the relevant answer to the question to their user base in the most convenient way and user-friendly way possible. Okay. So while that might be a pain in the butt for guys like me that are marketers, or you that is constantly having to change, doing things right, staying with your finger on the pulse, the intentions are good, right? We're trying to connect people with what they want. So however you feel about any of that, let's leave it in the dust and we'll talk strictly business right now. So we know that we want to play Google's game. Their intentions are well-based. We want to deliver the right results to people in the fastest way possible. That's why page speed matters. The content on your website matters. And that's why managing Google Business Profile really does matter and is a fundamental part of any marketing plan, especially ones that we provide for our restoration contractors. So, the question we always get here is, how do I get more leads? That's a loaded question, right? It really depends on what type of leads you're looking for, where your location is, but it's infallible that you have to have a website, you have to be doing SEO, and you have to have a Google Business Profile. If you don't know, the Google Business Profile is directly tied into the Maps results, okay? And previously before this big algorithm update came out, usually it was a great source of inbound links to your site and outbound links. Getting reviews was huge. The more reviews you had, it seemed the higher you would climb in your local search results. You were really able to manipulate these search results in the map section, with some optimization and some strong work. But Google realized, again, there was a lot of people that were taking advantage of and finding loopholes, and they wanted to shut that down. So they've put a lot more weight on the proximity to your business based off of where the search is coming from. But at the same time, what they did is, and that stinks kind of for service-based businesses like the restoration industry that serves, you might serve an 80-mile radius of your city. And then you might have a hard time climbing up into map sections for all the sub-cities that rely, outside of your address. So what Google did is in December, January, is they allowed their AI to just run through and just shut people down. And, some people got shut down that were legitimate, and within that, there was more people that got shut down that were not legitimate, that were getting fake reviews, that were not optimizing properly, that were keyword stuffing into their business name, and all these different things that were in that gray area, even the black area that you don't want to be in. So pouring through all the changes that came up, and it was a lot of work. It took our team almost a month to kind of figure out, okay, what's happening and how do we get these better results? And here we are. So yes, Google bases their results off the proximity when it comes to maps, and you have to have a Google business profile. But what they did, what I was getting at is now they're wanting you to set a service area. So where before your service area was kind of like, it was part of the optimization, but it didn't really matter that much. Well, now that's a big deal. Okay. So it's great for the guys that are just starting out, that might have a home address they're working out of, or their shop in their property. Now, instead of putting their physical address in there, they can verify their account with their physical address, but now they can set a service area, and they can actually get, with the right kind of work, you can actually get those maps rankings in those areas that are maybe outside of your main core address. So we'll back up a little bit. So we know that you need to have a Google business profile. So if you're listening to this and you don't know how to get one, it's free. You need to go to business.google.com. There's a whole process of setting up a page and verifying it. But you do need to have your business. They're gonna authenticate your business by sending you a postcard to your address. And then while you're waiting for that postcard to come in, it takes 5 days or so. You go in and you optimize your page. So, the long story short, you want to make sure that you are putting in your correct address and phone number. You have a legitimate website, and you want to load up pictures on that account. Okay. They want to know you're a legitimate business, or they're not going to allow you to have that ride on their search results. Okay. So, some of the things that we found work for us is taking a picture of your storefront with your logo maybe on in your business hours. Taking a picture of the adjacent buildings, just showing them that, here's my business, pictures of your trucks, pictures of your logo, just fill it all out. Put as many pictures as you can up there. And we're going to talk about pictures a little bit more lately, because there's another really cool change that happened just right after that, which you can leverage with your Google business profile to get better search results. So, optimize your page, make sure it's verified. You're going to get a postcard with a little code. You want to make sure you put the correct info in that page. I'm going to go ahead and share, for anybody that's watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. If you're listening to this, I'll talk enough. If you know me, I'm going to talk enough to walk you through, but definitely go back and reference YouTube videos so you can kind of see. This couldn't be any more straightforward. I got to say, there's guidelines that Google's going to show you when you're trying to verify this. Just follow them. It's very simple. It's step by step. Here's what we want. This is what we're looking for. This is what's going to get your account taken down. And, if you're just starting out, and you're just putting an account up, it's not that big of a deal to get your account taken down. You go through an appeal process. But if you're somebody that has 40 reviews, 50 reviews, and your account gets suspended, now we're talking about a big deal, and it's not very easy to get it back, especially because there's a little bit less of a human touch in all this now because of their AI. So you're really, you're dealing with a lot of gatekeepers when it comes to that. And that's the gatekeeper's computer with out the box answers. So let me share my screen here. So what we're looking at right now is a dashboard, a Google business dashboard that you're going to see when you sign up and verify your Google business account, right? So your dashboard is going to show you all these different little areas. And what you want to do is you want to make sure you go into the info section while you're waiting for this thing to get verified. You want to fill out your info correctly. Now, this is one of our clients. This is a brand new, fresh Google business profile that we just got done setting up. But you can see here, we have an address. It's listed. It's the correct address here. And then we have their service area. right? This is the area that they serve as a service-based industry. So while you're putting your address in, there's actually a little area that you click that says, I serve people at my location. Now, you want to make sure that's unchecked because most of you guys out there don't have, there's no walking storefront. You're not wanting people to come in to your business. There's no reason for it. You guys are getting a phone call and you are serving them at their location. So that's one of the big changes that's happened. They're putting more weight on your service area. So setting up your service area is important. You can put as many of these in here as you want, right? And put it in, all your whole entire service area, 20, 30, 40, 50 miles, anywhere you want to rank. All right. And I'm going to show you another little trick for your service areas in a minute. Next thing you want to make sure is you have your business hours properly laid out, right? Most of you guys out there are 24/7 emergency service, so that's pretty easy here. But if you have special hours, holiday hours, there's a place for that. You have different stuff here for access, online tours. None of this stuff really applies to the service-based industry. Another big one, phone number. All right. So the big three: name, address, phone number. And if any of you guys want some extra credit, what does that mean? Well, I'm going to just solve it because nobody's probably live listening to this right now. It's your NAP, your name, address, phone number. This is something, if you've listened to any of our videos, you know how important it is to have that information completely consistent across the board. Now, that means your website, your Google business profile, all your social media profiles, and your directory listing. So if you're doing SEO properly in your backlink building, then that name, address, phone number is infallible. You got to have it in there. And that's how Google kind of makes these connections. And that's how you connect everything to your site. So if you have any discrepancies in there, you're going to have issues getting ranked and you may even get flagged. So you want to make sure that that stuff is consistent. Okay. If you have your website, throw your website up in there, your services. Now, this is something really cool that Google added. You used to not be able to find every little service within property damage restoration, but they did start adding more. Like you couldn't find mold repair or mold damage renovation or restoration remediation. It used to not be in there, but it is now. But the other thing Google's doing right now is they're actually auto adding services. Like this is great here because they just showed this based off feedback and their AI. And sometimes customers will make suggestions and you're able to see what these additions are. So if you look through here, yes, we know that these guys do storm damage restoration, emergency mold damage, emergency disaster, commercial property cleanup, and you just accept changes. So this is helping Google get to know your business a little bit, which is going to help them serve your target customers better when they're looking for somebody to do this work for them. Okay. There's another area for attributes for the business. Like if you're handicap accessible, all this stuff you don't need to worry about. One little area, you have an online estimate. If you guys do offer that, click that. Then you have a little description area where you write everything about your business, right? So that's the first part of optimization. That's step one. Step two, go in, add your logos, add cover photos, add pictures of your jobs. All this stuff is not only going to help you convert traffic, and you see there's a lot of pictures. These guys are really good about this. This is important. It's a fundamental part because if you watch any of our other videos, and we're going to make a new one about this, Google is rolling out a different type of search now. So what Google's doing and what they're going to do is I'm going to stop. No, I'm going to stop sharing here. What Google's going to be doing is they're allowing their AI. So people soon, and this is rolled out. I don't know if it's 100% out yet, but Google's going to start allowing people to take pictures of something and allow that picture to be the Google search. That's the simple way to put it, right? So I'm thinking big picture, and we're always trying to make sure that we're staying ahead of this stuff. If I had water damage, or let's say I had mold and I didn't know what type of mold it is, and I know there's a bunch of different molds, and I went and took a picture of that mold and I did a Google search for it, and bam, Google's going to search, everything about that mold and everything about that picture. Their AI is able to completely decrypt that picture and say, this is what this is, and give you search results based on that. So as a digital marketer, I know that I need to have that content on the website. I need to have the content on our Google business profile, and I need to have photos of stuff to make sure that my results will match what the person is querying, because I want to be on page one for that, right? So yeah, we're page one for organic for mold removal. We're on page one. We're on the first 3-pack of the maps listings for mold removal in my area. And now I want to be page one for the image results, just like video. So if we talk about making videos for your business and teaching people something in your blog, now you've got the videos dominated. And now with the AI, you're going to be able to dominate the images. So That's just kind of the overview of your Google Business Profile. Those are like the infallible things you need to have on there. Now, the other thing about Google Business Profile that makes it an ongoing, ever changing, ever evolving task is you need to make sure you're getting reviews consistently, and make sure they're legitimate reviews. If you, and you may have noticed lately that even legitimate reviews are not popping up and showing up. That's because so many people were taking advantage of and buying reviews and doing all this stuff that Google said, okay, that's enough. And they're really vetting these out. And a lot of times, I don't want to say a lot of times, sometimes they're wrong. Okay. But it does get better. You can appeal it. You can always get that review back. I know it's really hard and it sucks, but you can always ask that customer to try to leave you another review. But the key is consistency. All right. It doesn't matter if you get 50 reviews in 1 month and then you don't get one another time. That's not good. That's not consistent. That's actually going to red flag you. You want to just get reviews as they come in naturally and organically. All right. And make sure that you are responding to those reviews. So, this client probably doesn't have a whole lot because we just got this going. They have one, but you see, we wrote right away, we got a response. Okay. They left a review. They left some keywords in a review. And that's another hack. Listen, if you can get a client to leave what you did for them in your review, you'll actually get better search positioning because of that. Right. So this one says we're greeted with catastrophic water damage. Bam. These guys came in, they fixed the water damage. I mean, those are all really high, powerful keywords. Don't worry about responding to the review with keywords. A lot of guys we've seen when we tell them, make sure we respond for them if we're managing their account a lot of times if they're good. But a lot of people want to respond to their own reviews, and we love that, right? You're having a vested interest in the work that we're doing. Don't put any keywords in your response. It does nothing for you. In fact, it just makes you look like you're trying to stuff keywords in there. And guys like me that look at it, that are digital marketers, are like, look what they're doing. It doesn't get you anywhere. Just say thank you, put your customer service hat on, and just respond accordingly, right? These people it's a lot of work to get somebody to leave you a review. So make sure that you're giving them a little love back. All right. And if you can get them to put a picture of before and after the job on that review, oh my God, you will see how much more juice that's going to get you as far as your results. Now, the other thing that you want to look at on your Google Business Profiles, they're allowing actually people to get online quotes and estimates. So a lot of people are getting hit up right here on these messages thing here, and they're able to actually ask about work and jobs, right? So we see a few clients in certain cities, people tend to do it a little bit more, but they actually send you a message, right? And you're going to literally get that lead in there. So, hey, I have water damage in my apartment. Can somebody call me, right? Do you have any availability for a mold test? That's really good. So make sure you have that functionality set up on your Google Business Profile before you go anywhere. Now, so getting reviews is huge. A couple real quick things on reviews. We've made 100 videos about this, and another podcast may be in play for this. We're going to do basically an over-the-shoulder how to maximize your Google Business Profile's reach. But basically, with reviews, the way that we see the best response when it comes to reviews is immediately texting the client as you're wrapping up the job and handing them their offboarding paperwork. Texting them, handing them a rack card with a QR code and an email. 3 ways. That's the initial. This is a never-ending battle, right? People are going to see it. They're happy. They don't want to leave a review. They usually leave reviews and are pissed, right? So that's why, it makes sense that Google weighs a lot heavier on the review. So a text with a link directly, and you could create that link right here, share review form on your Google Business Profile. If you're not watching this on your dashboard of your Google Business Profile, there's an area that says get more reviews, and you can share a review form. This link right here that you'll be able to click will go right to your review area, and they can leave you a review. So you want to make it really easy for them. You don't want to make them put in any work, right? The only way that they're going to put in the work, leave you a review, is if you pissed them off. Right, you ruined a couch. You didn't do what you said you were going to do. You overcharged them, whatever the case may be. But if you did a good job and you know it, you can identify those clients, text them that link with, hey, this would really help us out. Love working with you. Here's some pictures of your job that we did. If you want to throw those up on a review, you kind of give them a little taste. We always make rack cards. Our clients find that sometimes leaving them with like your folder when you're offboarding, a little rack card with a QR code that says, show us a little love, leave us a review. It'll really help. Share your experience. And an email, right? And don't give up. Like there's a good chance they're not going to do any of that stuff for you. So, wait a few weeks and do it again. Another text, another email, right? Mail them something in the mail, send them a koozie, and just say, hey, leave us a review. They will do it eventually. We see some clients get about a 70 to 75% return when they ask for these reviews, but it's not something where you can just do it once and just leave it alone, because you're probably not going to get great results. That's like anything in life, right? You want to lose a bunch of weight, and you hire a personal trainer and you go to the gym like twice, and then you call them up at the end of the week and be like, dude, I didn't get any results. Screw this. I'm not coming back. This is like something you got to hammer them with. And that's why people like us manage these things for our clients. Now, the other big thing that, you need to make sure you're doing are Google rolled out. And if you can see this, you see this area, it says posts. Google is now, posts are a big part of I guess it's another way to be able to put content out there, and Google is using that as valued content, and it's also a way to increase conversion. So with the posting, because of Google's AI, I don't see if we can see this picture here, but basically what this picture says is Water Damage Restoration Company in Greensboro, North Carolina, has their logo, their website, their phone number, their name, address, phone number, and some keywords in there with a picture of one of their jobs getting dried out. So if we're looking at how AI works and how Google's AI works, we're going to take this picture and they're going to get a lot of juice out of this lemon. All right. This picture has a photo. So Google's going to look at this photo and say, well, what is this? Oh, wow. This is water damage, it's air movers, and they're drying out somebody's water damage in their home. All right. And now we have text on the video that actually backs that keyword up, shows the location, shows their logo, shows the name of their business, their website, their phone number, everything's right there. And then you have an area where you can write up content. I mean, this is just like Instagram, except Instagram isn't scanning the photo and delivering search results. Okay. So climbing up in the map section. Sorry, I think my mic just muted. So back it up. The first thing people see most of the time on a mobile results are the map section. So this type of post is great. Their AI scans the post, scans the content, and helps deliver the proper information. Now, for making a post, there's a little button over here. You just click that. You have a couple different options. The one you want to do here, I mean, if you have an offer for like a free mold test, this is the place to do it. You can set a start date and end date, put a title, make sure you have plenty of information in the picture that it's relative to the service that you're offering. So not only is Google going to take the captions that you're using and use that for search results, but they're also going to take what's in the picture. Okay. So that's why when I say, if you follow our Ironclad Restoration Marketing Instagram or you watch us on YouTube, I constantly talk about using pictures and using your brand to get more leads. And this is one of the biggest ways. Okay. You want those pictures, right? So pictures do a lot of stuff for you, right? So you can talk about how great you are with remediating mold and how awesome you are as water damage and you're the best. People don't give a crap about you talking about yourself. Your photos are going to do the talking for you. Okay. So forget search results, forget any of the AI stuff. Just think about the buyer's journey. They've property damage, and that's a big deal. It's an emergency situation. They're trying to find the first person they can get that's legit, right? So you're going to have these results that come up on Google for what you're talking about. So I have my kitchen flooded. I got water damage restoration. I'm looking for a contractor in Miami. I'm going to look at all the results. I'm going to look at the map section. I'm going to look at who's closest to me. I'm going to look at who has the most reviews. I'm going to read some of those reviews. If they're bad, then I'm going to read the bad ones first normally. Then I'm going to look at pictures, right? I'm going to go to the website. Does this website look legit? Does it look like a professionally done website? Do they have case studies? It's the same stuff you guys should be doing when you're vetting out a digital marketing agency. You're not just going to hire anybody, right? You get a weird email from somebody who says, oh, we found all these gaps in your marketing plan, or that boilerplate email you might get all the time and solicited. You're not just going to call them up like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go. No, you're going to like vet them out a little bit, and people do the same thing for you. Even though you have a little bit of an advantage being an emergency service, they're still going to vet you out. You have a lot of competition. So pictures do a couple things. So pictures are going to help show, hey, look, this is what it looked like before, and this is what their new kitchen looks like. And now you have a review to back that up. And then you go to the website, there's a testimonial there. You have a lot of information in your blog to teach them. If you guys listen to the interview on our, I think it's on our Instagram and our YouTube, we talked to one of our friends, a client of ours in North Carolina, that actually has clients calling them and they're losing jobs. It's a good problem to have. So they're losing jobs because they're giving such good value that they're able to eliminate non-qualified leads, right? So they're not getting these phone calls of guys like, oh, I found this little thing. And then they really, they're just renting an apartment and you have no access to the property manager to actually do any work for them. Having the right content on your website helps eliminate that stuff. So from the buyer's journey perspective, the testimonials, the Google business page, the pictures are huge. Now, with Google's new changes, their AI using those pictures to give you better search results. I mean, damn, you are being able to dominate. When we talk about being digitally omnipresent, how much more omnipresent do you want to get? When you're taking up that real estate on the first page of Google, now you're in the organic section. You should be running Google ads if you can afford it. All right. You should be in the Google business profile. You should be ranking in the top 3 on map section for your business. If you do this work correctly, you will. And you now have an ability to rank in the video. Well, you've always had ability to rank in the video section because your videos that you're making and you should be making for your business should be put on a YouTube page. Why not, right? If you're going to make a video of a before and after of a job and put it on your Instagram, it's just as easy to upload it to YouTube and title it properly, right? So now you're in the YouTube section, you're in the videos results, and now you're in the images results. They can't escape. So we ask, how do we get more leads? Well, you got to do a lot of stuff to get more leads, right? You need to do it all. And that's it. Like having that real estate on page 1 of Google is just the first step. Then you have the buyer's journey that we talked about, and that's where the reviews come into play and the pictures and all the conversion stuff we talked about with a website that helps convert a mobile site and all that. Right. So, utilize Google Business Profile to get leads. It does work, right? If you're balling on a budget, you don't have the money to hire an agency to do it. This is free. You're not paying for any service. There's no secret sauce to this. It just takes some good old fashioned elbow grease and work, right? If you've got to spend every single night, putting posts up on Google business page, you could do one a day. I would do as many as you can. Make sure you have, the right information in the content. Make sure you have the right information in the picture. Make sure they're legitimate. Make sure you're asking for reviews constantly. Just make it as part of your process. Make it automatic. There's all types of automated tools out there to get reviews, but just stay away from anything that sounds too good to be true, right? There's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of Facebook groups. I'm in every one of them. I'm usually like Batman standing up on top of a building, watching and seeing what everybody's saying. And I'll jump in and I'll throw some advice out there if I really think it's necessary. But man, I see a lot of bad advice. I see a lot of people trying to take the easy way out. I see a lot of people with that shiny new object syndrome. I see a lot of people with the silver bullet mentality. I'm going to tell you, there's no such thing. None. There is no silver bullet for this stuff. It takes work. It takes having some common sense. If you're going to hire somebody to do it, it takes an intimate, collaborative process. Our best clients that get the best results for us, and I'm talking APR, or one of our clients, we had a conversation and, they've been around for a long time. They've multi-location. They've been through a handful of digital marketing agencies. The most previous one before us, I think they did $500,000 in a whole year for them. $500,000, just digital stuff, just $500,000 in jobs, just from SEO, pay-per-click, whatever they were doing, right? Most likely it was just SEO with their old website. We stepped in, built them a new site that we knew was going to help convert traffic because we didn't ever looked at their traffic or what they were doing. We just looked at where they were sitting. We ran some reports. You only have a certain amount of keywords on page 1. Well, there's relative traffic to that, right? You're on page 1. Not a lot of people look past that. They did $500,000 in a whole year. We talked to them right at the end of Q1. They already hit over $1 million in revenue from digital work that we did. I guess I will pat myself on the back and my team. That's a testament to following the program, not having the shiny new object syndrome. And they also were present. They hired us. They know the deal. They've been down the road. We're able to give them real-time data. We're able to report to them. And we doubled their entire year revenue in 1 quarter. And again, this is a time when a lot of people are slow right now. There's a lot of uncertainty with this war. All this stuff is happening with this, with the home insurance around the United States. And these guys are dominating, but they're doing it right. They're listening to advice. They don't get caught up in the shiny new object syndrome because they've already made those mistakes and they realize they've gotten to this point and they say, all right, we know what it takes. We know what it looks like to succeed. And let's go and let's look at the reports and let's let the money and the jobs that we're getting in do the talking, right? You don't want to be one of those guys that sets back and just says, we need more, we need more, we need more. And you don't have a target in place. You don't have a goal. You have a moving target for everybody. You're never going to succeed that way. There's nothing in your life this marketing stuff and getting leads and building your business is exactly, it's a very great parallel to literally anything you do in your life. It takes consistency. It takes having a goal and an action plan, and it takes being able to adjust on the fly and make the right changes that make sense, and incremental changes, and also tracking and measuring the results. All right. So that's it for today. Walked you through just a brief overview of how you can leverage, and you should be leveraging your Google Business Profile to get more leads for your restoration business. We will be doing a full length, really long version of this with a PowerPoint that we're making up, show you how to set these up properly. But the basics are: get one, verify it, make sure you set your service area, make sure that you're following all Google's guidelines. Do yourself a favor, spend 10 minutes and read them. Make sure you're not doing anything in a gray area. Utilize the posting capabilities, because you will be able to leverage yourself and get better results in the organic section and the map section. Make sure you're getting reviews that are legitimate. Make sure you can try to get them to put the keywords in the review, get some pictures in the reviews, and you will be on your way to getting more leads on the cheap. Now, when you're ready to take the next step and hire an agency, make sure you do your due diligence and make sure that you're vetting them out. Make sure that they can show you some results and there's some tangible evidence that they know what they're doing. But hopefully you've educated yourself enough to not have to worry too much. And you should know right within the first week if these guys are worth anything and they're actually going to deliver the results. If you want to do it yourself, my book is available on Amazon. It's very cheap, but it is a step-by-step guide that I wrote. I just released it in January, this version 2 in January. It covers a lot of this Google business stuff. But it's basically a really good guide to kind of get you in the right track. It's easy to read because I wrote it. I can barely read myself. So you shouldn't have a problem reading it. At least get some sort of fundamental understanding of what this stuff looks like, so you can stop wasting time, stop wasting money, and start concentrating on what matters the most. And that's getting more jobs and growing your business and living the life that you want to lead, because that's why we all do this, because we want to take care of our families. We want to take care of our families, or whatever the case may be. You want a vacation, you like cars. This is what we do. So check out our book. There's a wealth of knowledge. There's a ton of great Facebook groups. There's a lot of great coaches out there. Shout out to Diojo and John Isaacson. Shout out to the Restoration Rebels Facebook group. Those are great. Those are ones that I do watch, Restoration Rebels, and there's some really great, valuable information out there. There's a lot of guys that are selfless, that put themselves out there. But listen, there's a lot of stuff out there too that's posted that's too good to be true, and that's 9 times out of 10 the case. So the only way to do it right is put the work in, educate yourself, and you will be on your way. Check us out on YouTube, Restoration Rundown. You can also check out my Ironclad Restoration Marketing YouTube. There's hundreds of videos on there talking about all this stuff. We're on Instagram active, and myself and my team have our Instagram on the phone. So if you have any questions at all, just understand that you're going to be talking to a real person, and we would love to help you out and walk you through everything that you need to know to get more leads and sales for your restoration business. That's it for today. Thanks for tuning into the Restoration Rundown. Drop us a review. We'll talk to you soon.